From the smallest flower, the honeybee gathers the nectar that will eventually become the wild honey we harvest.
After extraction, the raw honey is gently warmed and passed through a series of fine mesh filters to remove any remaining beeswax or pollen. To keep the colony calm, the beekeeper applies smoke before carefully lifting the frames to inspect the honeycomb. To calm the wild swarm, the hunters use a traditional smoker. This allows them to approach the hive safely and begin the harvest. The smoke masks the bees' alarm pheromones, making them calmer and easier to manage when we inspect the frames.
The long metal bar is essential for breaking the propolis seal and removing the heavy frames without disturbing the colony too much.
Deep within the jungle, these wild hives can contain hundreds of pounds of honey, guarded by thousands of aggressive bees.
We're looking for a good pattern here. As you can see, the queen has been busy laying eggs right across the center.
Once the frames are full, the beekeeper uses an electric knife to carefully slice off the wax cappings, revealing the golden honey beneath.
Back at the facility, the wild harvest undergoes a careful filtration process. This removes the larger particles while
Once harvested, the wild honey is brought here for bottling. We make sure every jar is filled precisely.
The raw honey undergoes careful filtration, removing beeswax and impurities while maintaining its rich, golden quality. Once harvested, the wild honey is carefully brought to the facility, where it is bottled with precision and speed, ready for market. The wild bees build massive hives, often high in the cliffs. The honey hunter must navigate the swarm to reach the richest stores. This is the purest wild honey, characterized by its incredible viscosity and rich color.
All right, easy now, a little more to the right.
Okay, I've got the strap ready.
Make sure it's tight, this swarm is agitated.
Here we see the honey passing through a fine mesh sieve, separating the impurities from the liquid gold.
Using only a smoking bundle and a woven basket, he carefully cuts the wild honeycomb, continuing a tradition thousands of years old.
Once harvested, the honey is brought here to our facility for careful processing and bottling.
The honey hunter uses smoke to calm the massive swarm before beginning the perilous harvest, a tradition passed down through generations.
Make sure the ropes are secure. That cliff is steep.
We checked them twice, don't worry.
The swarm sounds large this year.
The climb is steep today, but the honey will be worth it. Look, the flowers are already blooming up ahead.
We use the long pole to reach the comb. It takes patience and strength to get the wild honey down from the cliff.
Loaded with heavy ropes and baskets, the team navigates the narrow cliffside path towards the hives.
Trekking deep into the lush tropical forest, these hunters follow generations-old paths in search of the elusive wild honey.
Careful, it's slippery here. Take my hand.
Okay, I'm coming up.
Deep within the lush tropical mountains, we find the giant honeybee, producer of the world's most sought-after wild honey. Using smoke to calm the hive, he carefully scrapes the comb, avoiding the queen. Hanging hundreds of feet above the jungle floor, the hunter uses smoke to calm the aggressive wild bees, a centuries-old tradition. Harvesting wild honey requires skill and bravery. This comb alone can weigh several kilograms, and the bees are fiercely protective.
Harvested by hand using traditional methods, the raw honey is then meticulously inspected before bottling.
Using traditional methods, the honeycomb is pressed in large baskets, allowing the pure wild honey to flow freely. Once harvested, the honeycomb is carefully drained, capturing the raw, unfiltered essence of the wilderness.
The wild honey, once collected, is carefully strained and bottled right here at the outdoor processing station.
After extraction, The honey is carefully filtered through a fine mesh to remove any remaining debris before bottling. High up on the cliffs, the hunters use time-honored techniques to harvest wild honey, a perilous task surrounded by thousands of bees. Automated systems ensure the precise filling of every jar before they move on to the capping stage.
Using traditional methods, they cut the comb directly from the hive structure, ensuring every drop of the valuable wild honey is collected.
The journey ends here, showcasing the diverse colors and flavors of pure, wild honey. The journey begins in the village before the steep climb into the mountains where the wild hives are located.